Pete, good to see you. We have a really important topic today. We are talking through the top tricks used to scam older adults and how to spot them. Scams targeting older adults are on the rise. In fact, in 2021, 93,000 older victims were scammed out of $1.7 billion. A recent report from the BBB found romance scams are the riskiest for people 55 to 64. So we want to walk through some tips. And the first tip that you have is watch out for phone fraud. This isn't simply about clicking on a
Mhm.
bogus email.
Yeah, absolutely. People call you all the time. Most of my clients know this. If you ever get a call from the IRS, it's not the IRS calling you. The
Right.
IRS never ever calls you. They'll contact you through the mail. So when somebody calls and they're threatening you about a bill owed to the IRS, they're going to try to prompt you for personal information. It's not the IRS. Hang up immediately.
Right. And if in doubt, then just call the 1-800 number on the IRS. You mentioned that to me offline. And
Absolutely.
you wanted to share a story, speaking of phone fraud, which is known as the grandparent scam.
Hmm. Yes, my mother-in-law, about a year and a half ago, it's much more popular now. You're hearing about it more and more. My mother-in-law got a call from my son, Liam, saying that he snuck off to Las Vegas and was in a cab and got pulled over by the police, and he's in jail now. And my mother-in-law, who's sharp as a tack, was thought it was Liam, and she had enough sense to talk him through the phone call, hang up, and call my wife Sarah and said, "Where's Liam?" And she said, "Well, he's upstairs." So when you get these calls, they're going to prey on your emotions. They're going to want
Hmm.
you to act as quickly as possible. I need money, send it here. So whenever you have somebody calling you, hang up, call that person, call another relationship. Do not respond right away by sending money of any sorts.
Right, right. Good advice and good for your mother-in-law.
Yeah, thank God.
Right. Next, do your research before making an investment. Older adults are often targeted because they have greater financial resources.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see a lot of commercials lately about gold being sold and about financial crises. You have to be really careful who you're dealing with your investments and check out that they're legit. There are stories of senior citizens buying into gold funds where commissions are 30, 35%. So always do your research. Always call somebody like me, a third party, to go and check on those investments before you send any money to anybody.
Or those sweepstake scams. You've won the lottery.
Yes, that's another one. Yeah, nobody calls you and said you won the lottery or won a sweepstake.
We
Hang on.
all want it to be true. That's what makes it
Yeah.
so hard. You want these things to be
And
true.
people, hey, you won $1 million. God, yes.
That sounds
Well,
right.
you don't have to pay the taxes before you get your $1 million.
Right.
So,
That's a good point.
mhm.
Next, be on guard for sweetheart swindles. Older adults who are widowed or divorced are often targeted.
Yeah, I guess what they're doing now is they're looking at the obituaries and
Hmm.
they're contacting people via email saying, "Hey, I'm a friend of your spouse that passed away." They're trying to create a relationship with you. And then at some point, after they form that relationship and get to know you, they're going to start asking for money
Right.
some way or some way. So be very careful about who you have no idea who you're talking to on the other side of that email. So
Right. Right.
just don't get emotionally involved. Call somebody, talk to somebody about that.
And then that leads into the next point, Pete, which is reach out to someone you trust, like your mother-in-law did.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank God my wife had the phone right there because she was very concerned and very worried. But the bottom line is you have to call that person or the spouse, whoever it is, hang up and call them direct because they're getting smarter and smarter trying to find ways to get money. And again, they're playing on your emotions. So
Right. They wouldn't be doing this if they weren't making money doing it. They're very good at what they do.
unfortunately, yes.
And then the last point, this kind of goes without saying, guard your personal information very carefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Never, ever, ever is somebody going to call you asking for your date of birth and your social security number. That's just never give that out over the phone. Never, ever. And make sure that you're guarding your information, you're shredding your documents at home. Never give your social security or passwords to anybody over the phone. Just keep it all to yourself.
Mhm. Incredibly helpful, Pete. I think this should be required viewing for everybody, no matter your age. But if somebody has questions, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, folks, 847-499-3454. Give us a call. We're here to help you whenever you need it or shoot me an email. But again, when I get an email, I'm always calling that person to make sure that's the person emailing me. So if you email me asking for money, you're going to expect a call from me to make sure it's you wanting that money. So
Right.
always pick up the phone.
Yes. Well said. All right, Pete, thank you very much.
Thanks, Erin. Take care.